Welcome back. We think everything's in order now, so we'll get started with how recycling works in Atlantic County. This is Rick Dovey. I'm the president of the ACUA. A brief history of the recycling here. I'm going to go over in the next few minutes. As I mentioned earlier, the first mandatory recycling law was mandated and signed into law 34 years ago by Governor Kane. And the interesting thing is the legislature unanimously approved the Mandatory Recycling Act. So that was all assemblymen, all senators, Democrats and Republicans. So there was a consensus for mandatory recycling back then. Next. In Atlantic County, we got started in 1988. So after the law was passed, it took about a year to plan and implement a countywide recycling collection program that included curbside collection from every home and business in Atlantic County. And it started in October of 1988. And by the end of that year, all the towns were included. And the ACUA was designated by the Board of Freeholders to implement recycling, and we have been managing it in Atlantic County since then. In 2009, the industry changed from dual stream, which the way we collected recycling previously in 2 or 3 different containers, to single stream. That was a big shift in the industry. In the business nationwide, worldwide, really. And the ACUA sought a partner to operate our recycling center that was dual stream previously. And we selected a company, outside company, to rebuild and operate and begin to operate our recycling center here at the ACUA in Egg Harbor Township. And that company ultimately was Republic. It went through a couple ownership changes, but Republic Services for the last 5 years was the operator and of our recycling center, where all recycling in the county, single stream collected, came and was processed until the end of last year. And at the beginning of 2021, because of the significant changes in both market and technology, the ACUA entered into a 2-year contract with Mazza Recycling of Tinton Falls, New Jersey, up in Monmouth County, just up the coast a bit. And they had a new state-of-the-art recycling processing facility that came online at the end of 2020. And we were one of the first customers. So today, all of our recycling is brought to our recycling center here and is loaded onto tractor trailers and is sent to Mazza and processed there. Today, the ACUA now collects recycling in 20 of 23 municipalities in Atlantic County, 1 municipality in Cape May County, and 3 municipalities in Cumberland County. And we operate 2 locations, 1 in Cumberland County, and of course here in Egg Harbor Township at our environmental park complex on Delilah Road. Here's the recycling process, how it works from start to finish. The materials are picked up from your home and school, business, and brought to the tipping floor either by the ACUA on behalf of your municipality, or it's brought by the public, by a private sector company, either from commercial or municipal pickup. And it all comes here. It doesn't have to come here, but most of it does come here. And there it's loaded since the beginning of the year, this year, since January. Materials loaded onto large tractor trailers and transported, as I said earlier, to Tinton Falls in Monmouth County, where the Mazza recycling facility is located. The ACUA has 33,000 tons that operates, that we collect and receive here. And it goes to Mazza's facility, which operates for 130,000 tons a year. Once it's sorted, the materials are baled and sent to various mills and manufacturers. Some markets exist in the US, but most recycled material is shipped around the globe to be further processed and eventually made into new items. Until recently, about 3 or 4 years ago, 45% of the world's recycling commodities, that's the raw sorted material that is paper, different grades of paper, different grades of plastic, and metals, 45% of the recycling went to China. China implemented a ban on outside recycling coming to their country to be processed. They wanted to focus on the waste and recycling system of China and recycling their material and not receiving so much and processing so much from the rest of the world. So they literally cut off the world's recycling commodities that they were receiving. Again, about 45% of the world market was going to China. Contamination of recycling includes just this picture shows you some food and liquid waste left in materials, items that were never accepted, meaning materials that were not sorted out, that were not recyclable to begin with. And now it includes hard to recycle materials, meaning there's very limited opportunity for making it into new products or the facilities to process them. So plastics 3 through 7, which we previously did and most of New Jersey accepted, we no longer have accepted for the last 3 years. 15% is the average contamination rate on material collected in Atlantic County, which is actually not that bad, but our public education process is focused on making people aware of what should not go in their recycling. That's an endless battle. As I said, we've been doing recycling for 33 years, and some folks still can't get it right. So we constantly are updating and refining our guidelines, but overall they've been consistent for almost those 33 years. And so previously to 3 years ago, we then accepted all plastic material, bottles and containers 1 through 7. So the numbers are usually on the bottom of a package or a container. And now, starting 3 years ago, we discontinued everything from 3 to 7, and only 1 and 2 plastic bottles, jugs, containers with small necks. So you may ask why. There is no market for the 3 for 7 or anything that's sustainable and economically viable. We're hoping that'll change. And when that does change, and it looks like it's going to stick, we would be happy to move back to having 1 through 7. So these are the plastics we do want you to recycle and have consistently been for really the last 33 years, always been the mainstay of plastics. So it's bottles and jugs and containers with smaller necks. And you can see the examples there, anything from a soda bottle to a milk bottle to water bottles and food containers with smaller necks than the base of the container. Paper and cardboard, please flatten. There's less and less paper than used to be, but paper and cardboard, we do not want pizza boxes. Why? Food contamination. Cartons. In Atlantic County, uniquely in Atlantic County, at least in South Jersey, we do accept cartons, juice cartons, milk cartons, and other kinds of no frozen food, but juice and liquid cartons. We do have a market for that, and it is part of our program. Glass bottles and jars have always been recyclable, and that's food containers and beverage containers, not cut glass or window glass or any other kind of glass. So it has to be a beverage and a food container glass. There is less and less glass in the recycling stream as manufacturers and food companies move to plastic for breakage and weighting issues. So what used to be a real mainstay of recycling programs is less and less by both volume and weight is glass. And so the markets are challenging for glass, but still there are some available and we still accept that. Metal cans, also metal end cans are all recyclable, aluminum, steel, and everybody sort of knows those materials. They've been a part of the program since the beginning. So now we get to the do not recycle, which is sort of a negative message, and people say, well, I don't understand it. It's tough. How do you expect me to remember? Well, that's why we're doing what we're doing today and what we consistently do in our public outreach and newsletters and so forth. So why don't we want shredded paper? Shredded paper does not, once it gets into the machinery of a recycling processing plant like the Mazda facility where we're going now and our own when we were operating one, is it really just falls through the machinery and ends up as trash. Recycled shredded paper can be recycled if it's baled in the right way. We're not set up for that here, but large generators of shredded paper can make arrangements to bale their material and bring it separately, but we don't collect it curbside. No wrapping or tissue paper. Again, there's really no market for that. And though it's paper that does not mix well with the other kinds of paper that are recyclable, and it contaminates those materials. As I mentioned before, pizza boxes were in, then they were out, and they're out again. Why? Mainly food contamination. So if you had a brand new pizza box that never had a pizza in it or any other food, it would be fine. Just put it in with your cardboard, regular cardboard. The problem is most of that's not, pizza boxes usually are put in the recycling after they've had food in them. And so the oil and the grease and the residue of the pizza and the toppings is a contamination to the cardboard. Aerosol cans, sorting facilities have found that these are dangerous to workers, and so for safety reasons, we no longer accept aerosol cans. How can you help as either a resident or a business or an employee in a business? We have a number of things. Only recycle what's accepted here in Atlantic County. Each county in New Jersey has a different program. As I mentioned earlier, there are some items that we accept that other locations do not. Atlantic County has one consistent message through the ACUA to our municipalities that we serve, and we're asking you to follow those. Rinse, empty, and dry items as much as possible. So you want to get as much food residue and beverage residue out of a container. It's really kind of self-explanatory. Those are contamination, but they also cause odor and other vector issues. Vector issues being mice and other things, bugs, things you don't want in your recycling. Keep your items loose in a container, not in plastic bags. This is a consistent direction that we're trying to give people. We need your recycling to be put in a container that's able to be seen and emptied. If it's in a plastic bag, we're going to assume it's trash. And don't put plastic bags in your bin. Take them to the grocery store instead, so that you can recycle these. But if you put them in your recycling, they're also only going to be a contamination. They are a big no-no in the processing plants like Mazda, where we are now taking our recycling for processing. They jam up the machinery, have to stop production 2 or 3 times a day just to untangle the plastic bags. They also are a litter issue. They fly around even when they're in a truck or being loaded into the truck. And of course, later this coming year, New Jersey is going to ban or largely ban plastic bags being used in stores. There will be some exceptions, but by and large, there should be a large reduction of plastic bags, either to be put in recycling or to be blowing around as litter. So plastic bags should not be in your recycling. Wish recycling. This is a term of the business where people say, well, I sort of want to recycle this, and it has one of those recycling symbols on the bottom of it. Do not be fooled by that. That is the industries, the food companies and others who are trying to green themselves, and they put a recycling symbol on it and make you think it's recyclable. The only items are the ones that we mentioned before. And so food containers are a big no-no, meaning they're unacceptable in our program today. You can learn more about the ACUA recycling program by going to our website, acua.com, Recycling 101. We can help you in many ways, so you can certainly go there. We're available for almost any kind of public education or direct education, either by visits to you or from you. Of course, after the COVID pandemic is over, in a sense where people can visit our facilities. So, but we have virtual tours of the ACUA recycling and trash facilities in the wastewater plant, and lots of information available and links to information about recycling. It's as important, recycling is as important it was in 1970 during the first Earth Day, and in 1987 when the Mandatory Recycling Act in New Jersey was signed into law, in 1988 when the ACUA, on behalf of Atlantic County, began recycling. We have a great program, one of the best literally in the country. We've had to adapt to changing circumstances in economics and the markets. We've done well so far, and we've managed to recycle about 35,000 tons of recycling every year since 1988. And we look to increase that percentage and amount going forward with there's plenty out there. We also receive the trash, so we can see how much material sometimes is also thrown away and could be recycled. So there's more to do. Everybody can do more. Please check in with the ACUA at our website, and enjoy the rest of Earth Day and Earth Week and the rest of the spring. And feel free to contact the ACUA on any issue relating to recycling or trash disposal or wastewater or the environment in general. We have lots of programs and information and opportunities for folks to connect and do things for the environment here in Atlantic County. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
All right, and if anyone has any questions, you can enter them in the Q&A box or in the chat. I'm sure Rick would be happy to answer even your toughest questions. Okay, here's one. Rick, how do you get a recycling container?
Okay, if you're a resident, you can get a recycling container, one blue bucket, 20-gallon bucket a year. Just by calling or contacting us through our website, there's a direct link to, and we will deliver it to you, usually within 2 weeks. If you're a commercial establishment or a larger residential complex, we will also provide recycling containers for commercial and larger facilities free.
Recycle plant waste like dirt and plants?
Not through the residential recycling program. We do have a compost facility where what we call yard waste is recycled and composted, and most material from homes, and including dirt, but and soil can come to that compost facility. That is not a free, but the cost of it is minimal concern when compared to cost of trash disposal. And then we make that material into new product, both eco soil, topsoil, and wood chips.
How do you apply for a job to work on a trash or recycling truck?
ACUA.com. If you're looking for a career, this is the place to start. We're actively recruiting right now and hiring folks to work on trash trucks, but also throughout our organization.
Might have taken care of everyone's questions, right?
Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. And again, have a great day.